Okay, let's dive in. Big news breaking: Liverpool has confirmed a major signing.
Yeah, triggering a release clause. And for a player who, well, the source material is quite clear, isn't the like-for-like Trent Alexander-Arnold replacement maybe some expected?
Exactly, or TAA as he's often called. It really does signal potentially a fascinating shift.
Absolutely. And what's striking right away in the article is that confirmation, the specific amount for the clause.
Right, so this deep dive, it's all about this breaking news. Jeremie Frimpong's confirmed transfer to Liverpool from Bayer Leverkusen.
And we're sticking strictly to the source material provided here.
That's the plan. Unpack the deal, understand the player based on what the article tells us, and explore the strategy, the tactics, what it all means for Liverpool, all from the source.
Let's get into it then. So the headline news confirmed today, Liverpool have triggered Frimpong's release clause,
And the article gives us the exact figure, 35 million.
which works out to 29.5 million sterling.
And the source mentions the payment structure.
It does, yeah. Paid in 3 installments, apparently. And, crucially, a long contract for Frimpong.
How long?
6 years.
Wow, 6 years. That's a huge commitment, isn't it?
Massive. And the article notes, the deal will be formally done when the window opens this Sunday.
But it also says total agreement is already reached, so it's basically...
It's a done deal, yeah. Just waiting for the official window timing.
Okay, so who is Jeremie Frimpong? What does the article tell us about him?
Well, he's 24 years old, Netherlands international.
And straight away, the word that jumps out is versatility. Says he can play right back, can play as a winger.
Anywhere on that right side, essentially.
He was a big part of that Leverkusen team, wasn't he? The one that won the double.
Yeah, key member for Xabi Alonso in that 2023-24 season. And the stats reflect that.
What are we talking stats-wise from that year?
The source gives us 14 goals and 12 assists across 47 games, all competitions. Pretty impressive numbers for a player often starting from deeper.
And it also mentions the season just gone, 2024-25.
5 goals, 12 assists, and 48 matches total. And it specifically pulls out 5 goals, 6 assists in the Bundesliga for that period.
Interesting. The source also gives a quick look at his journey, right?
Yeah, brief but interesting. Came through Man City's academy.
Right. Then Celtic signed him.
For just £300,000 back in 2019. Then off to Leverkusen in January 2021.
And that fee was potentially up to 11.5 million.
Correct. And there's a little detail in there for Celtic fans, too.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The article notes they might be due around £5 million from a sell-on clause in this Liverpool deal.
5 million after signing him for 300K and selling for about 11. That's incredible business for them if it comes off.
It really would be. What's also quite revealing is Frimpong's own take from an interview mentioned in the source.
Okay, what did he say?
He spoke to Arne Slot multiple times. Said Slot was really positive about his energy, his speed, his quality.
Because he feels wanted.
Yeah, Slot really believes in him. And he's heard good things, too.
About Slot. From who?
From his Dutch teammates. Some of the guys who played under Slot at Feyenoord apparently called him the best coach I've ever had.
That's quite the reputation to walk into. Must give him confidence.
Definitely. And he already knows some faces in the dressing room. Van Dijk, Gravenberch, Gakpo from the national team.
That always helps settling in, doesn't it?
For sure.
Now, here's a bit I found fascinating in the article, a real historical nugget. Liverpool have apparently been watching him for 15 years.
15 years. It says they even came close to signing him for their academy way back then.
Incredible. Talk about playing the long game in scouting.
Shows he's been on their radar for, well, pretty much his whole development.
Okay, so let's shift to Liverpool's strategy here, based on the source. Why this signing? Why now?
Well, the article states the club's reasons pretty clearly. It's about strengthening the squad overall.
Adding depth.
Depth, increasing competition for places specifically down that right side, and giving Arne Slot more tactical flexibility.
Right, and the source is really, really explicit on this. He is not being signed as a replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
That's the crucial distinction they make. Even though, the article does mention the background context.
Which is?
That TAA is expected to be heading to Real Madrid this summer.
Okay, so if Frimpong isn't the direct TAA replacement, what about other options? Connor Bradley gets a mention.
He does. The 21-year-old finished last season as first-choice right back, signed a new 4-year deal too.
So he's seen as part of the future, particularly in a post-TAO scenario.
Seems that way, yeah. Part of the plan moving forward.
The article also links the Frimpong signing to something else upcoming, Mo Salah.
Yeah, his expected participation in the Africa Cup of Nations this winter in Morocco.
So Frimpong's versatility playing winger or right back could be really useful cover during that AFCON period.
That's the hint, yes. Provides another option on that right flank when Saul is away.
Okay, so summing up the strategy bit from the source. Depth, competition, flexibility, definitely not a TAA clone, and maybe some AFCON cover factored in.
Exactly. But then the article gets into the tactical fit, and this is where, for me, it gets really interesting.
Me too. What's the core analysis there?
The source basically says, look, Frimpong and Alexander-Arnold might play in similar zones, but they are fundamentally different types of players.
Different how?
And it uses quite strong language. It suggests Frimpong could actually transform Liverpool's attacking approach on that right side.
Transform. Wow, okay. So what are the key style differences highlighted in the analysis?
It breaks it down well.
Huh.
TAA, known for his passing range, the deliveries, balls into the box, those signature crossfield passes.
Works from diaper areas too, the article notes, especially under slot this past season sometimes.
Exactly. Often initiating from deeper positions. Frimpong, though,
Is the opposite.
pretty much, according to this analysis. He progresses the ball mainly through running, carrying it, taking players on.
More dribbling, less passing focus.
Yeah, looks to receive or drive into much more advanced areas. It points to his role at Leverkusen under Alonso.
As a wingback, right.
He has a right wingback, operating from a much higher starting position. And that's where those goals and assists came from.
The article even uses stats to back this up, doesn't it? Since the start of 2023-24.
Through balls, TAA 16, Frimpong just 2.
But then you look at take-ons attempted.
Big difference. Frimpong, 168 attempts, TA 82.
That paints a pretty clear picture, doesn't it? One's a playmaker from deep, the other's a driver, a carrier into attack.
Absolutely. The source mentions heat maps show this visually, to TAA deeper. Frimpong pushing right up into attacking zones.
So this difference, it raises a tactical question in the analysis.
It does. How does Frimpong fit? Or rather, how does the system adapt? If he makes those runs high and wide on the right, like at Leverkusen?
Does that affect Salah?
Potentially. Could Salah drift more centrally? The article connects this to Salah mentioning Slot has relieved him of some defensive work.
Interesting. Freeing Salah up if Frimpong provides all the width.
That seems to be the question the analysis poses. So the big tactical takeaway from the source is,
With TAA likely leaving, Liverpool aren't just plugging a gap.
no. Frimpong gives them the chance to play, as the article puts it, in a distinctly different way down that right side.
Especially as they look to defend the Premier League title next season. A new tactical dimension.
Precisely. So pulling it all together from the article, the strategy, and the tactics, it's not just a replacement.
No, it feels more strategic. Squad strengthening, yes. Competition, yes. But also, crucially, enabling a tactical evolution under Slot.
And the fact they triggered the clause, gave him that 6-year deal. It shows real commitment to this specific player profile for the future.
A profile that, as the source analysis hammers home, is very different from what they had before.
That contrast in styles is really the headline tactically, isn't it? Suggests a potentially quite different Liverpool right flank next season.
Okay, let's quickly recap what the source material told us then. Liverpool confirmed Jeremie Frimpong, 35-meter release clause triggered, 6-year contract.
We got his profile. 24, versatile, Netherlands international, great stats at Leverkusen, those connections in the squad.
Strategically, the article frames it as depth, competition, flexibility for Slot, emphasizes he is not a TAA replacement, mentions potential AFCON cover too.
And then the tactical analysis. The stark difference in style between Frimpong's driving runs and TAA's passing from deep.
Highlighting how Frimpong could allow Liverpool to, and I'm quoting the source here, play in a different way, maybe even transform that right side.
Yeah.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, building directly on that source analysis. Given how much the article stresses this difference in player types and uses words like transform, does this signing suggest Arne Slot's vision involves a more fundamental shift in Liverpool's whole attacking approach down the right, going beyond just adapting to Alexander-Arnold's expected departure?
That's the really fascinating question the source leaves hanging, isn't it? Is this tweaking or is it reshaping? Potentially quite significant.
Something for all of us to watch unfold. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Frimpong transfer, based purely on the source material we had today.